May I come in? Thank you.
You may like to introduce yourself to all of us.
My name is Shujaat Ali Khan. I belong to a very small village in Upper Chitral in KPK. Since childhood, I have been raised by a single parent because my father unfortunately passed away when I was in kindergarten. I did my primary schooling from Upper Chitral, and I was fortunate enough to be selected as one of the youth ambassadors from Pakistan to the United States when I was in FSC, Part 2nd. There I performed really well, and I was selected as a mentor when I came back for the next youth ambassadors from Pakistan to the US on the Kennedy Lugar Youth Exchange Program. From there, I decided to pursue foreign education, and I was fortunate enough to be granted by a scholarship by the Italian government at the University of Venice, where I studied philosophy, international studies, and economics. There, my GPA was really good, so they sent me to the University of Sussex, where I did the last year of my bachelor's and a thesis in philosophy. From there, I decided to pursue a master's because I wanted to come back to Pakistan with a master's. So I was selected for the very prestigious Holland High Potential Scholarship, where I did my master's in politics and society from Maastricht University, which is at the border of Belgium and Germany. After I came back, I decided to attempt CSS. Meanwhile, I also started working with a German impact evaluation firm as a proposal manager. After attempting CSS, I decided to pursue a career abroad again. So I went to the Netherlands, where I'm working as a bid manager at an international development and humanitarian aid firm based in The Hague, adjacent to the International Court of Justice. And apart from that, I like to, and I'm a cricket freak, I like to analyze cricket, I like to watch cricket. I analyze cricket on my social media, on Twitter and Facebook. And I am also fond of Khowar, Chitrali folk music, and I compose folk music, and sometimes I also sing with my band. So that's about me. Thank you.
Thank you. So you come from Upper Chitral. Can you tell us something about Chitral?
Chitral is a district which is in the north of Pakistan. Before 2018, it was a single district, which was the largest district by area in Pakistan. But after that, it was divided into Upper and Lower Chitral for administrative reasons. Chitral has an area, therefore I would like to talk about Chitral as a whole. Chitral has an area of 14,850 square miles. And it is, the people are simple, they have a very simple culture. And what I like about Chitral is the people are very true to their roots, their culture, and the music, the food. And Chitral borders with Afghanistan through the Dora Pass and Lawari Pass with Peshawar, and as well as it borders to Gilgit-Baltistan. And it has 1 seat for the National Assembly of Pakistan and 2 seats for the Provincial Assembly of Pakistan. And that's pretty much it about Chitral.
What is the population of Chitral?
Population of Chitral is, if we combine Upper and Lower Chitral, then it's 5,15,900.
Why they have made two districts?
It was a demand from Chitralis since, I think, 1970s that the Chitral should be two districts because of the width and the area of the whole district. It's huge and it's really hard to be administered by a single administration based in Lower Chitral, which is, let's say, 600-700 kilometers away from the Borol Pass, which is the last valley of Upper Chitral. Hence, people demanded it, and I think that's why they accepted.
What is the length of border between Chitral and Afghanistan?
Chitral and Afghanistan, I'm not sure, sir. Not sure. I know.
Is it connecting Wakhan territory or
yes,
to a different area?
There's Borol Pass. The Borol Pass connects it to the Wakhan territory, but Dora Pass connects it to the Nuristan province of.
So, do you know anything about Wakhan territory? What is the length of Wakhan territory?
Sir, I'm not sure about Wakhan territory.
Okay, what do you know about Pakistan? Brief us.
Pakistan is a country situated in South Asia. It's a country bordering India, China to the north, India to the east, and Afghanistan and Iran to the west. Pakistan is a geostrategically very important country given its neighborhood with Afghanistan and the whole war on terror and the peace situation in the world, and as well as the India and Chinese rivalry and the US interest in the region. Pakistan foreign policy is based on the ideology of two-nation theory, and Pakistan the national sports of Pakistan is hockey, and the people of Pakistan are diverse. There are diverse ethnicities in Pakistan, and Pakistan has a parliamentary form of government where the head of the government is Prime Minister, while the head of the executive is, so the head of the state is the President, who is a nominal figure. It's very similar to England, but there it's the monarchy, but here is the President. And Pakistan has a bicameral legislature in terms of government, where upper house is Senate and the lower house is the National Assembly. And the Prime Minister enjoys vast powers, and the Federation of Pakistan is divided into 5 provinces, including Gilgit-Baltistan.
Shujaat, you have got good qualification and all foreign qualification. Why you are interested in the civil services?
I'm interested in the civil services because I feel like my father was a lawyer and as well as a politician when he was alive. So there's this thing about the legacy, carrying forward the legacy of my father and doing something for the people of my community, not only in Chitral but throughout Pakistan. So I feel like at this time, especially in these challenging times, when people are going abroad to pursue career in engineering, in medical fields, I feel like people like me who had the opportunity to go abroad and study different forms of government, different cultures and different diversity around the world, I feel like it's a responsibility on people like me to come back to Pakistan and serve the community. And at the same time, I am coming from a background with politics, philosophy, international studies. So this equips me with the required knowledge to serve in the civil services and in the administration, be it PAAS or foreign services or even the police. So I feel like I have the right capabilities. I have the ambition of carrying forward the legacy, and as well as I want some challenge in my career, because right now I am working as a proposal manager, doing good things in Africa, winning grants from the UN organizations. But I feel like the community needs people like me now, and it's the best time to come back to Pakistan and to serve the community so that the country can be taken towards the right direction.
You have mentioned only 3 services, but there are about 12 services.
Yes.
Different 12 groups.
Yes.
So how you will come, if you don't get the 3 groups which you have mentioned, then what will be your choice?
As I have put it in my performa, I have Pakistan Administrative Services, Police and Foreign Services as the 3 major groups. And then the 4th one I would like to opt for is Pakistan Customs and or Inland Revenue Services. So I am ready to serve in any of the groups if given the opportunity. And I would also like to mention that I have also cleared the KPK PMS. So I will have to decide if I'm lucky enough to be given the opportunity.
You have been there for interview? Your interview is done or still?
I was there for the psychological. My final interview is on the 26th.
Still you have to go for the interview.
26th.
Now you tell me you are looking Pakistan in a different way from outside. What challenges Pakistan is facing at the moment?
The talk of the town, as we all know, is the economic challenges that Pakistan is facing. It's a monster that has been daunting Pakistan for quite some time now, but especially in the last decade or so. The current account deficit, the trade deficit, the issue of taxation, how to broaden the taxation base, and how to decrease the gap which is between exports and imports, and how to increase the GDP of the country, or how to increase the GDP per capita. And secondly, I think the issue is, again, it has been there since especially after the war on terror, is the resurgence in the violent activities, especially the attacks on security personnel in terms of police and the army. And I think the third issue is, I think I should have talked about this in the beginning, but the third issue I think is the issue of identity. In my thesis as well during my master's, I worked on it, that how Pakistan has been facing an issue of identity in terms of its diverse ethnicities, because of which different peripheries and like Balochistan, like Pakhtuns have felt left out. But I think there is an issue which is there, and it will be there until and unless there's a consensus on it. But I think the prominent challenges right now at the moment that Pakistan should focus is the economic issues and the issue of violence. And then everything stems from violence and the economic issues such as poverty, unemployment, and issues like that. So,
Middle East is in conflict, is in war, and there are certain non-state actors like Hamas or Houthis or Hezbollah in Lebanon. What do you think? For what they are fighting, and who are the gainers in this Hamas-Israel war, and who are the losers?
So as you aptly pointed out, there are different actors in this quagmire, which is the Middle East, basically revolving around the Palestine and Israel conflict. There is the axis of resistance, which is, as claimed by the Western media, backed by Iran, and includes three actors in Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthi rebels. And I think that the losers definitely are the people of Palestine, and to some extent the people of Israel as well, who are losing lives, and life is the most precious element of all on earth, I guess. And the losers are again the neighbors in the Middle East, including Jordan, Syria, Egypt. And I think the gainers definitely are, let's say, the state or the politicians of Israel in the form of the right-wing government of Netanyahu, and as well as the military-industrial complex who sell weapons in the form of security industries in the West, especially in the US and France and other European countries. I think in terms of other gainers, maybe we can say, but I'm not sure, but we can say Iran and Saudi Arabia have their interest in it. So depending on the direction the war takes, these are some of the gainers within this war.
Thank you.
Welcome to CSPs Academy for CSS PMS preparation. CSS PMS तहरीरी इम्तिहान के तमाम मज़ामीन की ऑनलाइन और ऑन कैंपस तैयारी के साथ साथ सब्जेक्ट सिलेक्शन, असाइनमेंट चेकिंग, क्लास टेस्ट, मॉक एग्जाम, इंडिविजुअल टीचर डिस्कशन और फीडबैक सेशन का इनकाद किया जाएगा। इसके अलावा FPSC की तजवीज़ करदा बुक्स से बने मयारी नोट्स और CSP पब्लिशर की बेहतरीन बुक्स मुहैया की जाएंगी।
Under what law the police working was being governed after independence?
I think the police was being governed based on the British Act of the Colonial Times of 1861, which was which was later on in the time of General Pervez Musharraf, who was the president back then.
What was the thrust of that law?
The thrust of that law was, if I'm correct, on the penal code of the colonial times, and it was the power was concentrated in the magistracy of the districts of the areas, and the police was the issue of accountability of public safety or the accountability of the police was not a thing as such, which was later on changed in the 2002 police order by the then committee under Pervez Musharraf.
So how's that changed?
It was changed in the form of, firstly, it was separated from the magistracy. Back then, the magistrates used to be the ones responsible for law and order, but it was the police who were entrusted with the responsibility of looking after the law and order, and as well as it was the police. There were public safety committees and accountability of the police officers in the form of, it was based on the Japanese model, if I'm not wrong, the policing the police by the public, as they termed it, but also at the same time punishment for the offenses done by the officials on duty.
Have all these provisions of police order been implemented, like the Public Safety Commission you were referring to, and the others also?
I think it's a very interesting question, because it depends on the situation and the context. For example, if you allow me to quote one example, one of the idea was to let police get out of the political interferences and all, but at the same time, the police was made responsible to the Zilla Nazims, which I think is a controversial point in itself. But at the same time, the police, I think, was made accountable to some extent. If we, for example, take the very controversial case of Rao Anwar recently, which was in the media. So, yeah, I think to some extent, yes, but not entirely.
What has dynastic politics brought to Pakistan?
Dynastic politics is, I think Pakistan is one of the few countries suffering from this ailment. I would call it an ailment, because it is one of the major hindrances in the way of democracy and democratic form of government. So if we see that two parties have been ruling Pakistan, and within those political parties, there is this family rule where the next president or the next in charge of the party is from within the family, which in itself creates a doubt in the minds of the public that how are we going to proceed forward if there's no democracies within the parties who have ruled the countries twice each, or who have governed the countries twice each. Then there's always a mistrust or misconception, which has also led to major other issues such as the military interference, although one can argue that it was there before the first proper, let's say, elections of Pakistan, but still this has led to a mistrust within the military about the civilian governments and their intentions. So I think this has created serious doubts about Pakistan being a republic and Pakistan being a democracy. So there should be democracy, and there should be people outside these family dynasties to be elected for the party positions.
What do you know about Iran-Pakistan gas line project?
The Iran-Pakistan gas line project was an initiative wherein Pakistan was supposed to get much cheaper gas from Iran through this pipeline. I don't remember the exact date of its signing, but this pipeline was on a halt because of the US sanctions on Iran and how US pressurized Pakistan, because of which the work has stopped, and Iran has although tried to pressurize Pakistan into legal means to let Pakistan know that they are still willing to carry on this project, which would be super beneficial for not only Pakistan but as well as for Iran at the same time. But at the present time, due to the legitimacy of the Iranian government in question in the international arena of states, and especially the pressure put by the so-called superpower, the United States, Pakistan is really in no position to take it forward, So it would be really beneficial if it is taken forward.
Greta Thunberg is one of your favorite personality. Why was she criticized?
She was criticized because she did not speak of I'm not sure, sir, but if I guess, she did not speak for, let's say, countries outside the West as such who are most vulnerable, like countries like Pakistan, or as well as maybe sometimes in the West, where, for example, in the Netherlands, she's sometimes often criticized for disturbing the civility of the society. But I think this whole thing dates back to the white privilege, and also I think she did not talk about the countries outside the West and the responsibility of the countries within the West. But I'm not sure exactly.
What challenges do you foresee for yourself as a PAAS officer?
Challenges? I think the biggest of all the challenges would definitely be the political interference in the duties of an administrative officer. And secondly, I think the second challenge would be working in areas or in far-flung districts of Pakistan where there's issue of infrastructure, staff. And I think the second issue would be there of economic resources or economic means. And then the fourth one would be, I think, definitely the different actors within the society, be it the religious or ethnic or other such actors.
Oh, okay, cricket. You are a cricket analyst, and you have listed cricket as your weakness, cricket and coffee. On what counts would you like to see improvement in the performance of our cricket team? What will you propose in that regard?
I think, sir, if by my experience, I think I started watching cricket after the 2003 World Cup. So within these 20 years, and I also was lucky enough to witness a game between Pakistan and New Zealand in Birmingham when I was studying at the University of Sussex. So the thing that I could clearly see, because before that I had not seen, unfortunately due to the security situation and the international matches not being played in Pakistan, the first thing that I noticed right away was the fitness. The players of New Zealand, the Kiwis, they looked fit, and Pakistanis, except for, like, let's say Shadab Khan, they looked out of touch, out of shape. And I think the biggest issue is fitness. And there I noticed as well in my social media blogs is that Babar Azam, that people say that he's out of form and all that, but I think the biggest issue is that he has grown a belly, and he's really not working on his fitness, unlike, let's say, Virat Kohli, who has maintained fitness as his first priority and famously said that he only eats butter chicken once a year. And the second issue is the constant political meddling. I mean, which country in the world has politics meddling within cricket except maybe Sri Lanka and Pakistan, and maybe to some extent India, but they have the resources and the money, so they can still manage it. But I think these constant change between different chairmen backed by two political parties, this inconsistency is really hurting the cricket of Pakistan.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, tell me that in which year Cornwallis Code introduced in subcontinent?
Cornwallis Code? No, I don't know, sir.
And in which year Crown's rule started in subcontinent?
1858.
1858.
And
what do you know about the Act of 1858? Proclamation Act.
Yes, the proclamation.
Three characteristics.
The Proclamation of 1858 gave the dominion of the subcontinent under the direct rule of the Queen, and all the defense and foreign and all those affairs of the subcontinent were put under the Queen's rule, or Her Majesty, as they used to say. And yes.
Okay, you read European history. Can you name the philosophers of Age of Enlightenment?
Yes, sir. The philosophers of Age of Enlightenment started from Montesquieu of France.
He belongs to
France.
And
Rousseau, who was born in Switzerland but later on settled in France. And John Locke, who was English. Yes. And Diderot, who was the editor of Encyclopedia, who was also French.
Name that philosophers.
The Diderot or something. I don't know the pronunciation of the French word. The Encyclopedia Philosophia or something like that was the name of it.
Okay. Cavour. He belongs to which princely state of Italy?
Cavour is Piedmont, Sardinia. Piedmont, Sardinia is the...
And Victor Emmanuel belongs to which state?
He was the king of that state, and Cavour
was...
And Sardinia.
And Sardinia.
Yes.
Okay. What do you know about the Caesar Borgia? He belongs to which princely states? Caesar Borgia.
I don't know, sir.
What do you know about the Triptych laws?
The which law, sir?
Triptych laws.
I'm not sure.
Magnet Loin.
I'm not sure.
You have been in Belgium?
No, I have lived in Maastricht, which is close to Belgium, but I have...
Okay, you read European history.
Yes.
There was a very important and significance of Magnet Loin in the First World War.
I have to read about it, sir. Sorry.
Okay, which war is considered as empire-breaking war?
Empire-breaking war. The First World War.
How?
Because it broke not only the Habsburg Empire, but also the Ottoman Empire, and as well as the other smaller empires.
Well, you read political thought.
Yes.
Who propounded the idea of anarchism?
Anarchism is a Russian author. I cannot recall the name at this point in time.
Okay, what sort of political system, form of government and political system introduced in Government of India Council like 1935?
It was a sort of federation, but it was a union ruled from the center. Most powers were with the center in like defense, foreign affairs, and all that. But there were 6 provinces where, for example, there was provincial rule, or no.
My last question: what is major difference between fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy?
Fundamental rights, directive principles are the principles within the Constitution which just shape the overall working of the state or the society, but the fundamental rights are the ones which are fundamental to citizens, which cannot be infringed upon, which are enshrined in
directive states policy?
They're the one, for example, the Islamic way of life and other.
Do you know that the father of Pakistani constitution borrowed this concept from which constitution?
The directive principles.
Let's conclude it. Shujaat, I think you can make your self-assessment also. There are certain areas where you need to focus. ठीक है, ये अब साफ ज़ाहिर है कि this is administrative services पाकिस्तान का एग्जाम है, तो they want you need to be look into the history of Pakistan. सब कॉन्टिनेंट को देख लो, जिस तरह डॉक्टर साहब आपसे सवाल कर रहे थे, इसी किस्म के वहाँ भी पूछे जा सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो अदरवाइज यू आर फाइन. पर्सनैलिटी आपकी माशाल्लाह ठीक है, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल ठीक है, नॉलेज लेवल जर्नल तो ठीक है, बाकी स्पेसिफिक पाकिस्तान स्पेसिफिक, हिस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक, क्योंकि बेसिकली आपका 80% जो इंटरव्यू होगा इसी चीज़ पे होगा, ठीक है ना। अब यू हैव बीन टू इटली, तो डॉक्टर साहब मैकेवली पे आ गए, तो मतलब आपके थोड़ा सा यूर इंटेलिजेंट है, कॉन्फिडेंस आपका, पोस्चर ठीक है, वॉइस इम्पैक्ट ठीक आता है। व्हाट यू नीड टू डू कि एक तो इंट्रोडक्शन को शॉर्ट करें, अपने पैनल ज़्यादा ना खोलो, जितना खोलते जाओगे उतने सवाल आते जाएंगे। जो लिखे यू जस्ट गो एंड राइट वन पेज फॉर यू टू बी डिलीवर्ड इन 1 minute, ठीक है। तो इससे फोकस हो जाओगे कि हु यू आर, ठीक है ना। बेशक अपने ऊपर 10 पेजेस लिखो, बट व्हेन यू इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ टू ट्राई टू बी कर्टेल करो अपने आप को, ठीक है। अभी नाउ यू नीड टू कम इनटू द स्टेट ऑफ, कब है इंटरव्यू तुम्हारा?
6 फरवरी को।
6
फरवरी
डेट आ गई है।
चूंकि मेरी छुट्टियां खत्म हो रही है तो मैंने पता करवाया था, तो इट्स
ओके। तो यू हैव गॉट अबाउट 2-3 हफ्ते है ना। तो 2-3 हफ्ते में जो है ना, एक तो जो डॉक्टर साहब वाले पाकिस्तान अफेयर्स को साथ देख लो, टोकन क्वेश्चन खास तौर पर इस्लाम पे वो पूछते हैं, मैसेजेस फ्रॉम डिफरेंट थिंग्स, वो भी आप जरा थोड़ा सा देख लो। तो अपने आप को अब स्टेट ऑफ प्रिपेयरनेस में लाओ, बाकी एक्टिविटीज छोड़ो, सिट ऑन द टेबल, स्पेंड अबाउट 8-10 आवर्स अ डे। तो ये पुराने अखबार उठा लो, पिछले 1 महीने के, पाकिस्तान टाइम, डॉन है, न्यूज़ है, उसको रिव्यू कर लो। उनमें फोकस करो, नेशनल न्यूज़ क्या है, इंटरनेशनल क्या है, इकोनॉमिक इश्यूज़ क्या है, सोशल इश्यूज़ क्या है, तो हाईलाइट हो रहे हैं बार बार, तो उनको फोकस कर लो ताकि तुम फोकस हो जाओ। हम तो रिकमेंड करते हैं कि इस किस्म की एक नोटबुक बना लो, एक टॉपिक, उस पर 5 पॉइंट, एक टॉपिक 4 पॉइंट, एक टॉपिक एनर्जी क्राइसिस इन पाकिस्तान, वाटर इश्यूज इन पाकिस्तान, इकोनॉमिक इश्यूज इन पाकिस्तान, ठीक है ना, पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज इन पाकिस्तान, इलेक्शन किस तरफ जा रहे हैं, बॉर्डर इशू पाकिस्तान के, तो उस पर 1, 2, 3, 4 पॉइंट बना लो ताकि आप थोड़ा सा फोकस हो जाओ। तो उसको रिहर्स करते रहो, कम से कम 100 टॉपिक पे तुम ऐसे बैठ के 2-4 दिन में इसको अपडेट करो और उनको डेली देखते रहो, ठीक है ना। टोकन क्वेश्चन जिस तरह डॉक्टर साहब पूछ रहे हैं,
I understand because I just traveled from Europe to Pakistan, so I have to work on the history part, knowledge gap थोड़ा आया हुआ था।
नहीं वो यू आर फाइन। अब इशू ये नहीं है कि भाई, अभी इशू ये है कि तुम कहते हो मैं 2-3 सर्विसेज को तो प्रायोरिटी दे रहा हूँ। कोई नोटबुक बनाओ, कोई न्यूज़पेपर को रिव्यू करो ताकि अपडेट हो जाओ विद द पाकिस्तान इशूज, इकोनॉमी के इशूज है, सोशल इशूज है, जेंडर इशूज। अब यू हैव प्लेंटी ऑफ थिंग, बट यू हैव ऑलरेडी क्वालिफाइड रिटन एग्जामिनेशन, उसको रिव्यू करना है। 80% इसी में से आएगा, 20% न्यूज़पेपर। तो यू आर गुड, माशाल्लाह, यू कैन कम्पीट वेल, बट यू मस्ट कम्पीट इन ए बेटर वे। क्वालिफाई तो कर लोगे, फिर अगर आपको लोअर लेवल वाला को ग्रुप मिला तो फिर कहोगे मैंने करनी नहीं है नौकरी। ठीक है,
थैंक यू सर।
आप सर?
नहीं, आपका अच्छे सवालों में जवाब दिए। यू हैव गॉट वेरी गुड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, ठीक है। ये जो थोड़ा बहुत जो नॉलेज गैप है, इसको जो है ना पूरा करें, इसको फिर आप करो उसको जो है। बाकी ठीक है, आपका यू हैव द पोटेंशियल, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स बहुत अच्छी हैं आपकी, और जो है ट्राई टू बिल्ड ऑन दैट। ठीक,
आपकी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल बहुत अच्छी है, आप जो चीज़ पता होती है उसको एक्सटेंड बहुत अच्छा कर सकते हैं, बट यू लैक नॉलेज। अब फॉर एग्जांपल, आप यू बीन इन इटली, इफ आई आस्क अबाउट द रोमन एम्पायर्स और रोमन मिथोलॉजीज, रोमन पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम्स, तो आप उसको लैक कर जाते हैं। यू फॉरगॉट स्पेसिफिक चीज़ों को। अभी सर ने बताया कि जो आपका इंटरव्यू होगा ना, उसमें आप जितनी मर्जी अच्छी कम्युनिकेशन कर दिखा दें स्किल्स, लेकिन जब वो पूछेंगे, आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे इस्लाम के बारे में, वो स्पेसिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन ना दी तो इट विल, आपका जो है उस पर असरअंदाज होगा। यू वेरी इंटेलिजेंट, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड। जब आप चीज़ को पढ़ लेते हैं तो आप उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग अच्छी रखते हैं एंड यू कैन एक्सप्रेस वेरी वेल, बट जिन चीज़ों को आपने पढ़ा ही नहीं हुआ। अब देखिए, आप इस सर्विसेज के थ्रू आप एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विसेज की तरफ जाना चाह रहे हैं, अब सब कॉन्टिनेंट का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्या नहीं पता आपको। बहुत सारी जो है पॉलिटिकल साइंस की, ये जो है यूरोपियन हिस्ट्री की जो बहुत फंडामेंटल्स है ना, अभी टाइम का शॉर्टेज है, आई डिडंट आस्क। आप उन बेसिक जो बेसिक लाइंस है उनको मिस कर रहे हैं, फाउंडेशंस को वो मिस करेंगे तो आपकी भले जितनी मर्जी अच्छी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स हैं, आई फील कि फिर आपका जो स्कोर ऊपर, जैसे कि सर ने आपको पहले बताया है कि आप ऊपर वाले ग्रुप्स में ना रहे तो आप सर्विसेज आई थिंक आप शायद ना करें, छोड़ दें, तो अपने आप को फिटेस्ट करें, उस जगह पर लेके जाएं। वो जो नॉलेज गैप है ना, वो आप फिल करेंगे रीडिंग के बाद ही आएगा आपका। हो गया, कुछ भी चीज़ें पूछ, अब वहाँ पर एक इंटरव्यू पैनलिस्ट जो है दस्तगीर साहब है, वो बहुत ज़्यादा खींच के चीज़ों को आपको प्राइमरी नहीं, सेकेंडरी नहीं, टर्शरी या उससे आगे वाले क्वेश्चन करेंगे। देन यू हैव टू अप्लाई योर रीजन एंड नॉलेज। ना आया तो आप आंसर नहीं कर पाएंगे, और उसको खाम खा आपने उसको एक्सटेंड किया।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू।
बेस्ट ऑफ लक।
थैंक यू।